This conference will now be recorded.
In this session, we are going to discuss below topics. The first one is how to display error messages to the user. Okay, how to display error messages to the user. Okay, from the Apex class. Okay, from the Apex class. Then the next one is we are going to discuss action status tag. We have one tag. Okay, we have page block table tag, right? Like that, we have action status tag is there. Okay, action status tag, and the next one is action support tag is there. Okay, action support, action support, and the next one is re-render. Okay, re-render attribute is there. In the previous session we discussed rendered attribute. Now we are going to discuss one more attribute, that is nothing but re-render attribute. These are the topics which we are going to discuss in this session. Okay, how to display error messages to the users from the Apex class. Okay, how to display error messages to the users from the Apex class. For example, go to here, click on the entity search, click on the entity search. Okay, and suppose I am entering some input here. This is a search page, right? We developed this search page, right? So suppose we will enter some details and click on the search button, then the system, it will display an error message, right? Sorry, it will display an accounts, right? So this is a search page. This is a search page. You will enter a text here and click on the search button. Click on the search button. Then the system, it should display the related accounts, right? The related accounts, right? For example, I will just go enter like this and click on the search button. There are no accounts. We want to display that information to the user. We want to display some that information to the user. There are no accounts. There are no accounts. Suppose I will not enter anything and click on the search button. Click on the search button. Then we have to display an error message to the user. You have to enter something here. You have to enter something here. Okay, we have to enter something here. So these two we are going to discuss. So here the topic is, this is our search page. Suppose you will not entered anything and click on the search button. Click on the search button. Then we have to display an error message to the user. We have to display an error message to the user. Okay, this is the first step. Suppose you will enter some text here and there are no accounts. There are no accounts. Then also we have to display some information to the user, but there are no accounts with your text. There are no accounts with your text. Okay, so this is my Visual Force page, right? This is my Visual Force page. Okay, so now go and open this Visual Force page. Go to developer console, go to the developer console and go to file. Okay, go to the file and either open or open resource. Click on the open resource. I am trying to opening a Visual Force page. Go to here, click on this open button. This is my Visual Force page. This is my Visual Force page. Go to here, file, open resource, open resource. This is my Apex class and select this Apex class. Select this Apex class. Now coming into here in the front end, what we are doing? Suppose user he will not entered anything and click on the search button. Click on the search button. Then we have to display an error message to the user, right? Then we have to display an error message to the user, right? Whenever we will click on the search button, where it will go? Where it will go? Go to the Visual Force page. This is my Visual Force page. Where is the search button? Yes, this is the search button. Value is equal to search. Whenever user click on the search button, where it will go to? It will go to this particular action, right? It will go to this particular action. Go to this particular action. Okay, this is the action. Action is nothing but method. Action is nothing but method. Then here what we have to do? So whatever the user entered right here, this data, this is a text box, right? This is a text box. User entered data where we are capturing. That is my next step. Where we are capturing whatever the user entered the data, right? This is a text box. Whatever the user entered data, right? That data where we are storing into this particular variable, right? Into this particular variable. What I am trying to say is, when user click on the search button, then where it will go to, that is our first step. So go to the Visualforce page and search and check for the search button, check for the search button, then it will go to this particular method, then it will go to this particular method. That method is nothing but action method. Now go to here, search accounts. See, this is my method, this is my method. Then the next step is, suppose user will enter some information, some text here, right? That data where we are storing. So go to this text box. Okay, go to this text box. See, apex colon input to text value is equals to this one, right? Value is equals to this one, right? Apex colon input to text value is equals to this one, right? So this is the variable where we are storing the data. So whenever user click on the search button, we have to check that variable. Go to that particular method, go to this particular method. So we have to check this particular variable, whether data is coming or not, whether data is coming or not. So if data is not coming, then what it will display? What it will display? We will activate the debug logs and we will see. Okay, we will activate the debug logs and we will see. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is, suppose user will not entered anything and click on the search button, then we have to display error message to the user boss. You have to enter some input here. Okay, so here what are the steps we have to take? Whenever user click on the search button, where it will go to? It will go to this particular method. Then what is my second step? So whatever the user entered the data right here, this data where we are storing into this particular variable. So now in this method, first we have to check it, whether this variable is a null, I mean this variable is having data or not. That we have to check it. Suppose we will not enter data, then what system it will take? It will take null or it will take empty. That we will just go and activate the debug logs and we will test it. Now what I will do is, I will go to setup and I will go to setup. In the quick find debug logs, and the next one is to click on this new button. Click on this new button. Now go to here, and the next one is debug level is, select the finest one. Finally try to save this one. Finally try to save this one. Now go to here, go to here. I'm trying to enter some input here and click on the search button. Then go to the debug logs. Refresh this one. Refresh this one. Okay, it's activated, right? Go to here. 1 second. No, I activated for Akira Mohit. Mohit, I have to activate for Ramesh Babu, right? He is only the current user, right? For the current user, we have to activate. Okay, I'm selecting where Apex code is equals to finest. We have to learn. We should learn how to activate the debug logs, how to debug. We should learn. We know this one, then we will resolve any issue. Okay, we know this one, then we will resolve any issue. We should activate the debug logs, how to activate the debug logs and everything we should know. Okay, now try to save this one. We activated the debug logs for the Ramesh. Now go to here and we are entered some text here and click on the search button. Click on the search button. Now go to debug logs. Go to debug logs. See, and now go to here. Click on the view button. Click on the view button. See, now go to here and here entered into search account method is nothing but a test rate. Entered into search account method is nothing but a test rate. So line number 12 it is coming same thing, right? Entered into search account method, right? Here it is coming test rate. So now what I will do is, I will go to here and go to here, click on the search button. I am not entered anything. Click on the search button. The system produces debug logs. Go to here, go to here, click on this view button, click on this view button. Second, click on this view button. I'm trying to closing the existing one. Now go to here, we have to take the latest one. Okay, we have to take the latest one. Now go to here, entered text. See what here it is coming, entered into search account method, right? It is coming empty, right? Empty here it is coming, entered into search account method. You will click on this particular button, search button. Whenever you will click on the search button, then where it will go to? It will go to this particular method, right? Search account method, here it is going, right? In the search account method, what we are doing, we are trying to checking, we are adding one debug statement. What is that debug statement? Is nothing but system.debug plus search. See, I'm using plus variable and we are printing the search text. What is this search text? What is this search text? Now go to here, apex colon input to text value is equals to search text. value is equals to such a text. Okay, so whatever user entered, right, that data we are storing into this particular variable, now I am trying to printing this variable. What is there? I will not enter anything. Then what is there? The system saying it is null here, it is null here. See here, it is null, sorry, it is empty, it is not null, it is empty. Okay, it is empty. So generally there are two values here. Go to here, string s is equals to string s is equals to null. Okay, s is equals to null. Okay, and string yes. Okay, string yes. Okay, we have to learn the differences. String s1. Okay, string yes is equals to this one, like single quotes I'm adding. So we have to learn the difference. See here, string yes, I'm not providing any value. String yes is equals to null. Okay, then string yes is equals to single quotes. String yes. Okay, string yes is equals to null, string yes is equals to single quote. What is the difference? The first one is line number 5. So this one, what exactly this meaning? We are trying to declaring one variable. This is my variable, this is my variable. For this variable we are not allocated any memory, we are not allocated any memory. Then the system, what it will take? It will take null only. For this one, line number 5, we are trying to declaring one variable, we are trying to declaring one variable. So my variable name is nothing but yes, my variable name is nothing but yes, but we are not assigning any value, we are not assigning any value. Then the system, it will take null. Null means it is not allocated anything. Okay, it is not allocated anything. So it is not allocated anything. So the second one is coming into string s is equals to null. Okay, the same thing, both are same. We will never declare like this. Just for our information, we will never declare like this. So we will suppose we will declare like this in the sense mean the system automatically it will take the null value. That system automatically take the null value. Then what about this one? What about this one? String s is equals to single quote. What about this one? Means we declared one variable and memory is also allocated, but here there is no value. Here there is no value, the value is blank, but here we are not allocated any space. That is the difference. String s is equals to single quotes. So what is the difference between these two? Is nothing but string s is nothing but it is a null. Null in the sense means we are not allocated anything, we are not allocated any space. Here we are allocated space and there is no value, there is no value. Variable is there and space is there, but there is no value. That is nothing but this is empty and this is nothing but null. This is empty and this is nothing but null. Okay, so here whenever we are coming into here, we are using getters and setters for this particular variable, right? Setters and getters for this particular variable, right? So that's why suppose we will not assign any value, then the system it will take as a empty. Then the system it will take as empty. For example, this is one variable here, public string yes. Okay, public string yes. Suppose we will declare this variable, suppose we are using this variable, initially this variable value is equals to null. Suppose we will add getters setters, then the system what it will do is nothing but instead of null, the system it will assign some value. I mean it will not assign any value, but it is not assign any value, it will allocate memory. So we have to understand the difference. What is the difference between, see here, this one and this one? Public string yes. What is the difference between this one and this one? Here the system it will not allocate any space, so here the value is null, here the value is null. For this one the system it will allocate blank, the system it will allocate empty, because of here we are using getters and setters, right? Getters and setters. Okay, suppose you are using like this, suppose you are using like this string yes, then the system always it will provide null. What do you mean by null? Means we are not allocated any space, nothing is allocated, nothing is allocated. Then what is this one is? So yes, we are allocated some space, but there is no value there, there is no value for that particular s variable. Now coming into here, whenever we are using getters and setters, the system allocate empty. So suppose I will not use getters and setters, the system allocate null. Okay, Any questions on this one? So here the value is nothing but empty. The value is nothing but empty. It is not null because of we are using setters and getters. We are not providing any value, but here we are using setters and getters. So the system, it will treat it as a blank. Blank in the sense means is empty. Sorry, it will not allocate any value, is empty, whatever we will call it as a blank. So null means it will not allocate it. It will not allocate any space. It will not allocate any space. So here for such text, what is the value? Empty value. If such text is equals to, if such text is equals to empty, then what we have to do? What we have to do? We have to display an error message. Else we want to continue this process. Else we want to continue this process. Okay, we want to continue this process. If such text is equals to blank, blank means empty, then what we have to do? We have to display an error message. First of all, when user click on the search button here, first of all, whenever user click on the search button, where it will go to? It will go to this particular method, right? The search account. How we know whether it will go to this particular method or not? So by using this command button, we identify. Then the next step is what? So user, whatever the user entered the data here, right? This data, how we are storing into our Apex class, how we are storing into the data, how we are storing into this Apex class, how we are storing the data into this Apex class. This is the text box, right? This is the text box, right? This is the text box. So this text box we are mapping to into this particular variable, right? Search text. Now what is my next step? In the search text, it is coming as a null or empty, that we have to identify. It will come as a empty. Why? Means we are using setters and getters. Suppose we will not use setters and getters, then it will come as a null. What is the difference between null and empty? Null means this is a null. See here, null means we are just declaring the variable. We are just declaring a variable. There is no space for this one. The string s is equals to empty. What does that mean? So we declared where, I mean, we allocated space, and this is a reference for that one, but here there is no value. But here there is no value. There is no value. So the system here, it will take empty only. The system, it will take empty only. Now if such text is equals to empty, then what we have to do? We have to display some information to the user. We have to display some information to the user. Which information we have to display? Please enter input to text. How to display that information is nothing but we will just go and search in the Google, and we will get the syntax. We have Apex pages dot add messages. Some error messages are there. Error messages in Visual Force Space. Error message in Visual Force Space. How to display error messages in Visual Force Space? Okay. Now go to here. Apex pages dot, see, this is the syntax. Okay, we will get some other link. Okay, Apex pages dot, scroll down here. See, you want error message like this, you want warning message, you want information, or you want to success. We want error message, right? We want error messages. So I will just go and copy this information. We will just go and copy this information. See here you have to observe. We want error, we want a warning, you want warning message, we want some just information, we want success. Which one we want to display? I want to display only the error message. So I will see here, this is the syntax. No need to remember, we will just go and copy it. So just remember Apex pages dot add messages. Okay, how to display the error message is nothing but, see here, Apex pages dot add message. That is enough. No need to remember exact syntax. No need to remember exact syntax. Then what we are doing? We are displaying error message, right? So Apex pages dot severity dot error. Suppose we want to display information, then info. Suppose we want to display some warning. Okay, suppose we want to display some success. Go to here, go to here. We have success attribute is there. Go to here, warning, info, confirm. Some fatal errors, normal errors are there. Okay, normal errors are there. So here we are trying to displaying error. Please enter account name. Please enter account name. How to display an error message? Apex pages dot add message. Now go to my Apex class. Go to my Apex class here. Apex pages dot add message. Enter account name. Enter account name, and try to save this one. Try to save this one. Apex pages dot add message See here we are trying to displaying error. What is the error message? Please enter account name. Now coming into here, we have to refresh this one. We have to refresh this one. Why we have to refresh this one? In the sense means we changed at the Apex class level. Apex class level we changed. That is nothing but at the server level we changed. That's why we have to refresh this one. We have to refresh. We have to refresh. Now go to here. Click on the search button. See here, still it is not displaying any error message. Still here it is not displaying any error message. Shall we debug? Go to here, refresh this one, refresh. Now go to here, click on this view button, click on this view button. Now go to here, see, entered into such account method, entered into a such account method. Here you have to observe VF page messages. Please enter account name. Here it is capturing, right? Here it is capturing means it is entered into this particular line. But why it is not displaying? It is not displaying to the user. So whenever we will click on this particular search command button, where it is going? It is going into this particular method. What is the proof? This is the proof. Then what is the search text? Search text is empty. Then we have to display error message. How to display error message? Apex pages dot add message. This is the error attribute and this is the information we are doing. But still it is not displaying. Why it is not displaying? So at the Visualforce page level, we have to add one tag. That tag is nothing but Apex page messages. Apex page messages. Apex page messages tag we have to add it. Apex page messages tag we have to add it. Okay, Apex page messages tag we have to add it. Okay, so what is this Apex page messages tag? At the Apex class level, we are trying to capturing the errors. Now how to display? Where we have to display? In the Visualforce page level. How to display? The system is saying we have to use Apex page messages tag. Then whatever the error messages you are capturing, right, it will automatically display. It will automatically display. Now go to here. Go to here. Have to. We will not enter anything. Go to here. Enter such. Go to here. We will not enter anything. See here. Please enter account name, right? Here it is coming, right? Please enter account name. The error message is coming, right? What are the steps we did? Whenever we will click on the search button, where it is going? Whenever we will click on the search button, where it is going? It is going into this particular method, right? In this particular method, it is going into this particular method. In this method, what we are doing? We are checking. What we are checking? This text box. This text box is null or empty. We are checking. Yes, this is empty. And here we are trying to displaying an error message. We are capturing that error message first. How to capturing? Apex pages dot add message. You want to display error or info or some warning error. So what is the error message? Please enter account name. Please enter account name. Now at the Visualforce page level, we have to add this tag. At the Visualforce page level, we have to add this tag that is nothing but Apex colon page messages. So any questions on this one? Suppose we want to display information, then go to here, some information. Okay, try to save this one. Go to here. Okay, now refresh, go to entity search, click on search. See, this is information. So based on our requirement, we will just go on the display. Here we have to display error message, right? Error message. Now coming into here, now one more steps. List of accounts is there, right? List of account. Suppose there is no account, then again I want to display an error message. There is no account. I mean there is no account. Suppose you will enter some text here. Go to here. You will enter some text here. Test. See, and click on the search button. There are no records. Then also I have to display an error message. We have to display an error message. So whenever you will click on the search button, where it will go to? It will go to this particular method, right? Search text is not empty. Then it will come into here, right? Line number 20, it will execute this SQL query, right? It will execute this SQL query. As a result, what we are getting? As a result, what we are getting? For example, click on the search button. Go to the debug logs. Refresh this one. Refresh. Take the fresh log. Take the fresh log. Go to here. 1 second. Go to the debug logs. Okay. Go to here. Click on this view button. Click on this view button. Now scroll down here. Scroll down. Entered into such account method. That key is nothing but this is the text, right? Then coming into here. We are trying to executing a SQL query right here. This is our SQL query, right? Line number 20. Line number 20, this is our SQL query, right? Now go to here. Line number 20, here is there, right? Select ID, name, type, rating, a country from account. Where is equals to this one, right? Where is this one, right? See here. As a result, how many rows here it is coming? Rows is equals to 0, right? Rows is equals to 0. Select ID name. So we are trying to executing this SQL query. As a result, what we are getting? 0 rows are coming. Then what we will do is nothing but if list of accounts, if list of accounts dot is empty, we have to check it. If list of accounts dot is empty, if it is an empty, then what we have to do? Then what we have to do? We have to display an error message, not error message, some information. There are no accounts with this particular, no accounts with this input, no accounts with this input. Try to save this one. So how we are checking whether the records is there or not? List of account is empty, right? See here, go to here, line number 20. See here, list of accounts 21, it is empty, it is empty. Line number 20, we are trying to executing this SQL query. The rows are 0, right? The rows are 0, right? Okay, so then what we are doing, if list of accounts dot is empty, means it is a empty, it is empty. Some people what they will do is they will use like this: size is less than, size is less than 0, size is less than 0. Okay, size is less than 0, they will use like that. Instead of that, the best approach is we have to use is empty. Okay, is empty, this is the best approach. Okay, this is the best approach. List of accounts is empty. What do you mean by is empty? It is executing this SQL query. If it will not return any result, then what it will do? It will return 0 rows. See here, 0 rows. Line number 20, it will return 0 rows. Then it is, then what we are doing? So how we are checking whether it will give 0 or not? List of accounts dot is empty, right? List of accounts dot is empty. Then we are trying to displaying an error message to the user. So how we are trying to displaying apex pages dot add messages. So then what are the steps? Already we added apex page messages, then there is no issue. One time we will add, there is no issues. How many times we will add this apex pages add message, it doesn't matter. So it doesn't matter, then it will display this information. Now we will just go and refresh this one. We have to refresh this one because of we changed it at the apex class level. See here, I will just go and enter like this and click on the search button. No accounts with this input, right? So our code is working, right? Our code is working, right? So up to now what we discussed, is okay. Second. Up to now what we discussed, this is my search page. Suppose user click on the search button, what we are doing? It is going into the apex class. This is our apex class, right? This is our apex class, right? Okay, this is our apex class. Apex, when user click on the search button, how it will go to our request? Our request, it will go to the server. Where is our server? It is inbuilt available. That's why this is called cloud computing. Whenever we will click on the search button, our request, it will go to the server. From the server, it will go to this particular apex class. Okay, from the server, it will go to that particular apex class. And the next one is here. This is a text box, right? This is a text box where we are storing. We are storing into one variable, right? We are, whatever user entered, right, that data we are storing into this particular variable. So whenever user click on the search command button, it will go to the server. From the server, it will go to this apex class. In this apex class, it will go to this particular method. In this method, what we have to do? User entered or not? So this variable is there, right? This variable we have to check it. Suppose user he will not enter data, then what system it will store? It will store empty or null. It will store empty only because of we are using setters and getters. What is the difference between empty and null? What is the difference between empty and null? Okay, empty is nothing but what is the difference between empty and null? Null is nothing but, so we are just declaring the variable. The system, it is not allocated any memory. So string s is equals to empty in the sense means yes, memory is allocated, but it is blank. So but there is no value. Okay, there is no value. But in this case, the system, it is displaying as an empty. The system it is storing as a empty. So here we are trying to storing, we are trying to checking. S is empty. How we are checking? S is equals to, see, go to here. S is equals to, go to here. Search text is equals to double equals to single quotes. So in the single quote, it is empty. Yep, it is empty. Then we are trying to displaying an error message. How to display error message? We are trying to capturing here. Then at the Visualforce page level, we are trying to using this message tag. This message tag. Any questions on this one? Any questions? Okay. Any questions here? We learned two things. How to display error message. That is one thing. That is one thing. The second important thing is, suppose we will not use getters and setters, and we declare the variable like string yes, then the system it will store, then the system it will store null. Okay. What I'm trying to say is, what is the difference between these two? Public string, string, string yes. Okay, getters, setters means the system it will display as a like this, s is equals to empty. Okay, s is equals to empty. Then what is the value here? Public string, string yes. So what is the difference? So here we are not assigning anything, right? The system it will declare like this. What is the difference between this one and this one? Is nothing but we are just declaring a variable. There is no space. Here we are trying to declaring the variable, and system is also allocated memory, but there is no value. It is a blank. Okay, this is a blank. And any questions on this one? Any questions? Okay.
రమేష్ గారు,
Yeah, yes, Mahesh.
అందులో సివియారిటీ ఎర్రర్ అట్లా అట్రిబ్యూట్స్ ఉన్నాయి కదా, అట్లా మరి ఇంకా ఏమేమి ఉంటాయి మామూలుగా సైజు?
There you are talking about, see here, only these things: fatal, error, warning, info, confirm.
Okay.
See, this is one. Suppose I want to stop the process, then error messages only, right? Error messages.
Okay.
Suppose I want to just display some information to the user, info. Suppose success message I want to display. Yes, this is the one. Okay, based on our requirement, we will just go and use it. Okay. And
Okay.
any other questions? Here you have to observe. We have to remember server side, client side. Generally, they will use these type of terminologies. We have to remember what is the server side and what is the client side. Okay. Here you have to observe. This is, one second. This is my page, right? This is my page. Go to here. Go to here. See, this is my page, right? This is nothing but client side, right? This is nothing but, we will call it as a presenting to the user, right? Presenting to the user in the sense means always we will call it as a client side. Client side. Suppose we are trying to developing lightning, Aura component or LWC component, Visualforce page. All these are for presenting to the user only. Presenting to the user. Okay, presenting to the user is nothing but we are trying to displaying, or we are taking the data from the user, or we are presenting to the user. So that is completely UI design. That is nothing but completely client side only. We will call it as a client side. Whenever we are clicking the search button, then what the system it is doing? It is going and searching something, right? Where is that one? This is Apex class, right? This is Apex class. This Apex class, where is this Apex class? Whenever you will click on the search button, then here it will go to server. Our request, it will go to the server, whether it is Lightning, Aura, or LWC, or Visualforce page. Whenever we will click on the buttons, our request, it will go to the server. From the server, it will search for the Apex class. From the server, it will search for the Apex class. This is nothing but we will call it as a server side, and this is nothing but we will call it as a client side. This is nothing but client side. Okay, this is nothing but client side, and this is nothing but server side. What do you mean by client side? Generally they will use the terminology. We have to work on the client side, we have to work on the server side. Go to the server side class, go to the client side. Client side is nothing but presenting to the user. Presenting in the sense means Visualforce page or Lightning component or Aura component or LWC. Server side is nothing but Apex classes. Whenever we will perform any clicks, then our request, it will go to the server. Where is the server? We did not install any server, right? That's why this is a cloud computing. From the server it will call our Apex class. So from the server it will call Apex class. So we are clear, right? What is client side and what is the server side? Here you have to observe, when user click on the search button, where we are performing our validation. User entered data or not? User entered data or not? Where we are performing? At the server side we are checking, right? It is blank or not. If it is not blank, then you will go to the server. From the server you are trying to display an error message, right? This is a simple validation, right? This is a simple validation. So user is entered data or not? User is entered data or not? Okay, for that type of simple validations, no need to perform at the server side, right? No need to perform at the server side, right? Okay, we will just go and perform at the client side only. Client side. So what is the issue? Suppose I will perform at the server side, then what is the issue? What is your problem? So what I am trying to say is, whenever you will click on the search button, then what internally happen? What internally happen? It will go to our request, it will go to the server, right? Our request, it will go to the server. Okay, from the server it will call our Apex class, right? From the server it will call our Apex class, right? Okay, whenever user click on the search button, our request, it will go to the server. From the server it will call our Apex class. Okay, that is fine. Okay, so what I am trying to say is, this is a simple validation, right? What do you mean by simple validation? Just null check, you are entering data or not. That I am using the terminology simple validation. That is called null check. So we will use generally simple validations like that. You are entering data or not. For that purpose, why you are going at the server side? Why you are performing the server side? Yes, I will go to the server side. What is your issue? So we have to reduce number of hits to the server. Whenever we are writing a UI design or something, we have to reduce number of hits to the server. Number of hits to the server. Whenever we click on the search button, then what it is doing? It will go to the server. We are hitting the server. So we are hitting the server. From the server it is going to the Apex class and it is checking, and again it is back to the server. From the server again where it is displaying in the front end. From the again server it is displaying in the front end. So number of hits we have to reduce. Why we have to reduce? Because of this is a simple check, null check, whether you are entered data or not. That we have to perform at the client side only. That we have to perform at the client side. Client side is nothing but Visual Force page level only. We have to check it whether you will enter data or not. So whether you will enter data or not. If you will not enter the data, then I will display an error message. If you will enter data, then I will pass your request to the server. From the server it will call your Apex method. From the server it will call your Apex method. That is the process. Requirement is clear, right? Requirement. Here the issue is, we are performing a simple null check. Null check means whether you are entering the data or not. That we are checking. Where we are checking? At the Apex class level we are checking. Apex class level we are checking, right? So this is a simple validation. Why you are performing at the Apex class level? Yes, I will perform at the Apex class level. What is your issue? Because of whenever you will click on the command button, your request, it will go to the server. From the server it will go to your method. It will check and again back to the server. From the server again it will display to the user. You are hitting unnecessarily, you are hitting the server. Yes, I will hit the server. What is your problem? So when we have to reduce number of hits to the server, sometimes we have to reduce the number of hits to the server to increase the performance. Okay, to increase the performance, we have to reduce the number of hits to the server. So these type of simple validation, why I am calling it as a simple validation, means it's a just null check. For these type of validations, we will perform at the client side. Here, what is the client side? Visual Force page. At the Visual Force page level only, we have to perform these type of validations. How to perform? We have JavaScript is there, jQuery is there. We have JavaScript is there, jQuery is there. Okay, requirement is clear. Any questions on the requirement? So we have to use JavaScript or jQuery to perform simple validations at the client side. So here we are using JavaScript. Now go to here, go to search account page. See, whenever user click on the command button, line number 6, whenever user click on the command button, what we are telling to the system? You have to go to this particular method, right? Now what I will do, I will remove this one. I will remove this one. What I will do, on click, see here, on click one attribute is there. I will tell to the system, whenever you will click on this particular button, whenever you will click on this particular button, then what I will tell to the system is, you have to call this function. You have to call this function. This is not exact syntax. Just I will give some pseudo code, then I will copy the syntaxes. Whenever user click, before that what we are doing, whenever user click on this command button, what we are telling to the system, you have to go to this button, sorry, this method, and you have to execute this particular method. So now what we are doing, we are removing this method. We are removing this method. Now what I will tell to this command button is, whenever you will click on this particular button, whenever you will click on this particular button, then you have to go to this particular, you have to go to this particular function. You have to go to this particular function. This is a JavaScript function. JavaScript function. Whenever you will click on this particular button, you have to go to this function. Where is this function? Where is this function? You have to write. Okay, we have to write here. Type. Okay, script. Okay, we have to write a JavaScript. This is a opening tag and this is a closing tag. This is a closing tag. Script type is equals to text. Type is equals to text JavaScript. Okay, we are telling to the system, whenever user click on this on this button, unclick, you have to go to this function. Where is this function? So under JavaScript we have to write this function. My function name is nothing but function 01. Assume that here we have to write function 01. This is my function. This is my function. We have a method, right? Like that in the JavaScript we will call it as a functions. Like that in the JavaScript we will call it as a function. So whenever user click on this particular button, we are telling to this button, you have to go to this function. So where is this function? It will check. Yes, JavaScript is there. Yes, it will go to this function. Then what we will do, we will check whether it is coming into this function or not. We will just go and use alert boxes. Entered into this function, entered into this function. This is for our understanding purpose. This is for our understanding purpose. We have debug logs are there, right? We have debug logs. Like that in the JavaScript level, generally we will use alert boxes. Generally we will use alert boxes or console.log. In the Lightning we will use console.log. Okay, here we are using alert. This is for our information. I will remove whenever everything is working fine. I will remove this one. So this is completely for our understanding purpose. Whenever user click on this particular button, it is going into this particular function or not. So it is a JavaScript function. In this JavaScript function, we have to use this alert box. Okay, we have to use, this is for our understanding purpose only. Then what is my next step? What is my next step? Where is my text box? Here you have to observe, where is my text box? My text box is here, right? My text box is here, right? This is my text box. We want to get this value. We want to get this value. Okay, we want to get this value, right? So this tag is where input to text tag. Where is this tag? This tag is under this space block, right? This tag is under this space block, right? For this space block, we have to go and put some ID. For this space block, you have to go and put some ID here. ID is one more attribute. ID is one more attribute. This space block is where? Under this form, right? Under this form. For this form, you will just go and put some tag. ID is equals to this one. This form is where? This form is under this page tag, right? For this page, you will just go and put ID tag here. ID tag, I will explain. I will explain once again. So first of all, which one we want to fetch? I want to fetch this text box, right? So for this text box, you will just go and put ID attribute. ID is equals to anything here. ID attribute. On the top of this one, which is there? On the top of this one, which tag is there? On the top of this one, output label, not this one. What is the parent for this one? Parent in the sense means on which tag we wrote this one? Under page block only, right? Under page block, id is equals to pb, id is equals to this one. Then on the top of this one, which one is there? id is equals to form1, id is equals to form1. On the top of this one, which one is there? id is equals to page1, id is equals to page1. So now we want to get this value, right? We want to get this value. So whenever user click on this command button, it is going into this particular function. It is going into this particular function. In this function, what we are doing, whether it is entered or not, I'm just adding alert box. Then what is my next step? I want to check this value. Where is this input text? This is the text. I want to check this value. So what we have to do is we will just go and use ID attribute. Here what we have to do, I will just go and put FF also, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, but some meaningful names here we will do. Then the next one is on the top of this one, which is there. On the top of this one, which is there. Not output label. And the immediate, I'm not asking immediate tag. Immediate tag. On the top of this one, what is the parent? What is the parent? This one, Apex space block, right? For this one, you have to go and use ID is equals to PB. So what is the immediate parent? This one, right? What is the immediate parent? This one, right? So now we have to get this text value, means we have to use like this. Document dot get element by ID. Here some syntax is there. $component dot page one, right? Under this page one dot form one is there, right? Form one dot under this form one, what is there? PB is there, right? PB dot under this PB, where is our tag? This one, right? Text dot value. Text dot value here. So this I will just go and store into variable input info. I'm storing into one variable input info. So now if input info is equals to blank, if input info is equals to empty, then I will just go on the display alert boxes here. Alert box, alert. Okay, please enter input text. Please enter input. Okay, suppose he will enter, then what I have to do? Suppose he will enter the value, then what I have to do? We want to call the controller method, right? We want to call the controller method, right? Controller method. Here you have to observe, whenever user click on this particular button, what we are telling to this button? We are telling to this button, you have to go to this function. Where is this function? This is this function. This is a JavaScript function. Whether it is entered into the JavaScript function or not, we are using this command. Then what is my next step? It is entered. It is entered. Then what is my next step? That is nothing but page one dot form one dot pb dot page one dot form one dot pb one page one dot form one dot pb dot text dot value. Text dot value. Text dot value. Document dot get element by id dot value. See here, document dot get element by id dot value. Your variable input info. See here, variable info. I am trying to assigning into this particular variable. I am trying to assigning into this particular variable. So if input info equals to blank, then what we have to do? Then what we have to do? We have to display an error message here. We have to display an error message. Then if user he will enter, then what I have to do? I want to call my action method, right? I want to call an action method. What we are trying to say? This is my form. This is my Visual Force page. You are clicking on this button. So you are clicking on this button. This is my Apex class. Finally, what we have to perform? We have to perform this method, right? This method logic we have to perform. This method logic we have to perform. What we are telling to this command button? Whenever any user click on this command button, go to this JavaScript. In this JavaScript, you have to check it. If we will not enter anything, then display error message from here. If we will enter anything, then what we have to do? I have to call this particular method. This method is at the server side, right? So we have to come into the server. From the server side, we have to call. How to call is nothing but we will just go and use action function. Now action functions here. Action, not action support, action function. We will just go on to use action function tag. We have page block table is there, right? Like that we have data table is tag is there, right? Like that we have action function is there. Action function. So the syntax for the action function is we will just go and put here any name, call method. You will just go and put some method here. You will just go and put some method. Then here you have to come into here. Here you have to come. Then apex colon action function here, action function name is equals to same name whatever here we are using, right? This name here we have to use it. Then action attribute is equals to whatever our controller method is there, right? Whatever our controller method, go to here, this is my controller method. Such account is there, right? Such account, this is my controller method. This is my controller method. Now we understand, right? Suppose user he will click on this particular button, then what we are telling to this button, you have to go to this JavaScript. The system it will verify yes JavaScript is there, whether it is entered or not. I will search it. I will verify. This is for our understanding purpose. Suppose if you don't want, I mean whenever we are giving this code to the user, that time we have to remove this one. Okay, yes. Then what is my next step? We have to get this value. User he will enter data or not. Where is that text box? This is the text box, right? So for this one, just go and use one ID attribute. What is the immediate parent for this one? Base block is the immediate parent for this one. ID is equals to this one. What is the immediate parent for this one? This is the immediate parent. What is the immediate parent for this one? ID is equals to pay. This is the immediate parent. Then how to get? See here, document dot. No need to remember the syntax. Just remember the concept. Document dot get element by ID. We are getting by ID, right? ID dot component page one dot form one dot pb dot text dot value. Then we are trying to assigning into this particular variable. If input info is equals to blank, then we are trying to displaying error message. If we will enter some information, then what we have to do? I have to call this controller method, right? We have to call this controller method, right? Then how to call from the JavaScript? In interview also they will ask how to call controller method from the JavaScript by using action function. So see here, we have to just go and use some method here. Any name here, I will just go and put like ABC also. ABC, see, ABC also. Then it will search where is ABC. So here we have to write one tag apex function name is equals to ABC. Yes, ABC is there. Then what is the corresponding action? This corresponding method here it will call. This corresponding method here it will call. So finally, why we are writing here the JavaScript is nothing but we are performing validation. Simple validations we are trying to checking. Simple validation in the sense means you are entering data or not. That we are checking. If we will not enter any data, then I am throwing error message here. How we are throwing? By using alert boxes. If we will enter data, then what I am doing? I am passing your text box. I am passing your text. Whatever you entered the text, right? That text I am trying to passing into the apex method. So for this purpose, we are calling action function here. Action function. In interview also they will ask you up with the action function or how you will call a controller method. How we are calling the controller method by using action function, right? In the yesterday session, JavaScript with the detail page button is sforce.apex.execute, right? From there also we are calling the controller method, right? You have to remember. So why you will use action function? Suppose anyone will ask me, I have one form. In that form, we want to perform some validation. The validations are null check. Null check means user entered data or not. Instead of performing these validations at the server side, we'll perform the validations at the client side. So once validations are fine, then I want to call my controller method. Then I'm using action function here. So action function name is equal to this method name, and the next one is which method we have to call. This method we have to call it. Any questions on the concept? Any questions, Shiva? Any questions, Shiva? Mahesh, Bhaskar, Ajay, any questions?
Ramesh, generally in real time, which method we are following, JavaScript or action method?
Actually, I mean, simple. I mean, what type of validation? Suppose you are performing some null checks, then we have to use this JavaScript code only.
Okay.
JavaScript code only. So suppose you want to perform some other validation, some complex validations, then you have to go and use Apex class side. So whether it is a blank or not, date you entered or not, date is in this format or not, first name is in this format or not, this type of we will perform at the JavaScript side level only. At the client side only we will perform.
Okay.
Okay. And now what is okay, Bhaskar. Now I will copy this code. Okay, I will copy this code. Whenever we will click on this on click button, we have to use this one.
Yes,
Validate.
Ramesh.
Yeah, okay, Bhaskar. So whenever we will click on this particular button, see this is the syntax on click, right? On click. So we have to use, see this is my method name, validate. This is my method name. My method is nothing but function name. We have to use validate, see here, validate, see here, return false. Whenever we will click on this particular button, the system it will check, yes, is there any validate method is there? Yes, it will go to this particular method. It will go to this particular method. Okay, then what is my next step? What is my next step is nothing but here we have to add the values. Phase 1, form 1, and the next one is id is nothing but pb. Which one we want to fetch? This one only, right? Id is equal to text. This one only we have to fetch it, right? So the second step is we have to add ids for each and every tag. We have to ids. Then the next one is we have to get that data, right? Document dot get element by id. Document dot get element by id. Just remember, JavaScript is a case sensitive. For example, I will use like get element by id, like this capital letters. The system it will not identify. JavaScript is a case sensitive, but Apex code is not a case sensitive. Apex code is not a case sensitive. Okay, Apex code is not a case sensitive. So get element by id. By id only, right? In this document, in this page, we are getting the values by using id only, right? That's why they will call it as a document. Instead of page, they will call it as a document. Document dot get element by id, right? Get element by id we are getting by using id only, right? Id only. So here page1 dot form1 dot pb1, just this is the exact syntax. This is the exact syntax. Okay, exact syntax. Okay, input info, my variable name is nothing but input info. Here document dot get element by id, and here see this is a page1, and the next one is nothing but form1 pb, and the next one is pb.text. See here, dollar component, no need to remember the syntax. We have to fetch the data from the text box. How to fetch the data in the JavaScript from the text box? How in the Visual Force page? We have to search it. We will get the syntax. Same syntax. Okay, document.get element id means we are fetching the value. That value we are trying to storing into this particular variable. If it is a null or condition, also we have to use it. Or input info is equals to input info is equals to null. Input info is equals to null. Then what we have to do? Alert, please enter input. Please enter input. Okay. Then else. Suppose user will enter. Then what we have to do? I want to call my controller method. What is your controller method name? Any name. Then how system identify? In the Apex action function, name is equals to ABC. ABC, and so same name here we have to use it. And action is equals to that our method name. Action is equals to our method name, and here okay, action is equals to our method name. Now finally try to save this one. Just observe here, whenever user click on this particular button, I am telling to this button, first of all, here I am not using action attribute, I am using on click attribute. I am telling to this attribute, you will just go and use the execute this method. We have to use the return false here. You have to execute this particular method. The system it will search, yes, there is a method. Then what the system it will do? Yes, we have to fetch the value, that text box value we have to fetch it. If it is empty or it is a null, then we have to enter this one. Else we have to call this particular method. I will just go and verify this one. We will just go and verify this one. Go to here, refresh this one, click on the search, see, click on the search. It is not showing anything, right? Then what I will do, I will go to here, alert, 1 second, text script type is equals to JavaScript only, right? Yes. So what I will do, it will enter or not. See here, it is not showing anything. What I will do, I will just go and put like this, entered into this method. Okay, entered into this method. Now go to here, entity search, click on the search button. See, still it is not identifying. Now go to here, on click is equals to validate return. Yes, everything is fine, right? Well, spelling is also the same, right? On click validate return false. Okay, validate return false, same thing, right? 1 second, on click validate is equal, yeah, we have to write function. I forgot to write function. We have to write a function here. Okay, function here. Click on this one here. Entered into this method. Enter into this method. Click on this OKC. Please enter input. It is displaying error message only, right? For example, go to your test. Click on the search button. Enter into this method. See, it is coming, right? It is coming right here. You have to observe. Go to here. Click on the search. I will not enter anything. Entered into this method. This is for our understanding purpose. Please enter input. It is coming, right? It is stopping our process, right? It is not going into our controller method, right? Suppose I will enter into here. Yes, enter into this method. Then it is displaying here. Our result is coming, right? Result is coming, right? We are clear, right? See, forget about the syntaxes. Concept is clear, right? Concept is clear. What we are doing, we are performing at the client side validation. Why we are performing at the client side validation is these are the simple checks only, right? Simple null check. Field is the value is there or not, date is there or not, date is in correct format, length is greater than 5 or not. These type of validation we have to perform at the client side only. So how we are performing in the Visual Force space, this is the process. Whenever you will click on this button, we are using attribute. On click is equals to validate. On click is equals to validate. Click on this validate button. Click on this validate button. Sorry, check this. Click on this button, then it will go to this validate method. You know, first we are trying to fetching this value. First we are trying to fetching this value. Then input info is equals to empty. Input info is equals to null, and alert please enter input. Else we are trying to calling this particular method. Okay, we are trying to calling this particular method. So any questions on this action function? Action function. Okay, then two tags are there. It will take maximum 10 minutes. Okay, we will discuss that. One is action status and another one is re-render. Action status and another one is re-render. Before going into the action status, we will discuss re-render. Okay, first we will see the output. Then we will discuss. Okay, then we will discuss. Okay, 1 second. I'm trying to creating one. Go to here. I'm trying to creating one Visual Force space and Apex class. We are trying to creating. We have to learn. Any questions, let me know. I'm trying to creating one Apex class. How to create an Apex class? Go to here. Okay, setup, develop Apex class. This is my Apex class. Okay, this is, click on this new button. A render demo, any name, it doesn't matter. Okay, public class rendered demo 5. See, go to here, render demo 5, and the next one is any name here, demo. This is which attribute? 1 second. Re-render attribute. Okay, this is re-rendered attribute. We have in the previous session we discussed a rendered attribute, right? This is re-rendered attribute. Okay, re-render. I'm just copy paste this code. There is no logic here. We will discuss. You have any questions, we will discuss. Okay, I'm trying to creating one class. There is no logic. Yes, I declared one variable. My variable name is nothing but first name. Okay, we'll discuss that. Now I will just go and create one Visual Force space. Go to here, Visual Force space here, Visual Force space. Click on this new button. Now go to here, Apex space. Go to here, Apex space. Then what is your class? This is my class, right? Render. This is my class. Demo. First we will see the output, then we will understand. Here there is no new tag. Ever tag we know. Try to save this one. And this is my preview. Click on this preview. Here you have to understand the concept. There is no new text. This is one page block. This is one page block. This is one page block. Okay, this is one page block. Okay, and Here, this is my Visual Force page. I am trying to opening this Visual Force page from the developer console. Go to here, open resource. This is my Visual Force page. 1 second on this one, right? Demo VF. Go to here, file, open resource. I will close and I will close this one and I will again open. We created one Visual Force page and Apex class. Okay. Now go to your file. Still it is loading. Open resource. See, this is my Visual Force page and this is my Apex class. Okay, this is my Apex class. Open resource. This is my Apex class. This is my Apex class. Okay. And so this is my Visual Force page and this is my Apex class. Here there is no new tag. We know Apex page tag, right? This is form page block. This is the command button. This is another page block. This is another page block. This is another page block. Okay, everything we know, right? Everything we know. Here there is no new tags. So this is my page. Finally, this is my page. Here you have to observe, whenever I will click on the submit button, entire page is reloading or only particular page is reloading. See here, this page, this section is reloading. Sorry, whenever we will click on the submit button, here you have to observe. Go to here. Go to here. Whenever we will click on the submit button, what happening? This is my page. In this page, how many sections are there? This section is there, this section is there, this section is there, this section is there. Only this section is reloading, right? Only this section is reloading, right? Click on the submit button. See here, this section is reloading, right? Instead of reloading the entire page, we are reloading particular portion of a page, right? Whenever we will click on the submit button, observe here, I don't want to reload any complete page. I don't want to reload the complete page. I want to reload this page, this section. I want to reload this section. We want to reload this section. So instead of reloading the entire page, we have to reload only particular portion of a page. Particular portion of page. How we are going to achieve is nothing but by using re-render attribute. So instead of reloading the entire page, go to here. Go to here. So go to here. This is my Visual Force page. This is my Visual Force page. Suppose here I am adding re-render button. I will explain. Okay, I will explain. First, try to understand the output. First, try to understand the output. So now go to here, refresh this one. Now I am trying to click on the submit button. What the system it is doing? System it is 1 second. Refresh this one. Whenever I will click on the submit button, what system it is doing? See here, complete page is reloading, right? Complete page is reloading, right? Click on the submit button. See here, in the URL here you have to observe. So this is important. Important in the sense means whenever we have to design anything, we have to consider all these things. See here, whenever I will click on the submit button, here it will refresh. Here it will refresh. Here, see here it is refreshing, right? Here it is refreshing, right? Means it is loading the complete page. Whenever we will click on the submit button, it is reloading the complete page. Complete page it is reloading. I don't want to reload the complete page. We want to reload only portion of a page. That is my requirement. This is my page. This is my page. See here, this is my page. In this page, a lot of sections are there. This section is there. This section is there. This section is there. This section is there. And here we have one command button is there. Whenever we will click on the command button, what system it will do? It will go to the server, right? From the server, it will go to our Apex class, right? This is our process, right? This is our process, right? So whenever you will click on the submit button, suppose this page, entire page is reloading, in the sense means all these tags it will go to the server. All these tags server it will check. All these tags it will check. All these tags the server it will check. The syntaxes it will check whether it is in properly closed, properly opened. All these things it will check. So whenever it will load the entire page, what is the difference? Whenever it will load the entire page or whenever we will load particular portion of a page, what is the difference? So whenever we will load the entire page, then what is the difference? So here these tags it will go to this particular server. These tag here it will go to this particular server. These tags also it will go to. These tags also it will go to. These tags also it will go to. What are the tags are there in the page? all those things it will go to the server. In the server level it will check, server level it will check, so syntaxes are properly opened, properly closed or not. Instead of that, what I am doing, so whenever I will click on the submit button, we have to check only this block. I don't want to reload the entire page. I don't want to reload the entire page. We want to check only this block. So I will send only this tag. With this performance we are improving, right? So instead of reloading the entire page, we are reloading particular portion of a page by using re-render attribute. Your question is, boss, what is the problem? I will reload the entire page. I will reload a particular portion of a page. What is the difference? Whenever we are reloading the entire page, what will happen? All the tags, right? Whatever the tags are there, here, whatever the tags are there, right? All these tags, it will go to the server, and the server level it will check. Okay, syntaxes it will check. So it will take some time, right? So instead of that, what I will do, I will tell to the system, whatever there in this space block, right, only these tags we have to reload. You have to go to the server and you have to check. It means performance it will improve. So how we are going to achieve in the sense means by using re-render attribute. In the previous session we discussed render attribute. What do you mean by render attribute? It is a boolean. It will show the section or it will hide the section. Re-render is what purpose? Re-render is what purpose? Instead of reloading the entire page, we are trying to reloading particular portion of a page. Particular portion of a page. Now coming into here, this is my Visual Force page. This is my Visual Force page. Here, how many sections are there? Go to here, user personal information, one section is there, address information, one section is there, user bank information is one section, education information, 4 sections are there. This is a command button. See, this is the command button. My requirement is whenever user click on this command button, I want to reload only this education information section. I want to reload only this education information section. So how we are going to achieve is nothing but here I will just go and use re-render attribute. Re-render attribute. Then here which page block we want to reload. This page block only, right? With this page block only, right? This here we will just go on that. For each and every page block we have to use ID attribute. Not only page block, for each and every tag the best practice is you will just go and use IDs. You will just go and use ID like this, any name here, each and every tag, any opening tag there should be, you will just go and use ID. Now here what is my question, what is my requirement? Whenever you will click on this command button, what I am telling to this command button is we have to reload this particular ID. Where is this ID? It will check, yes, this ID is there, then I will reload only this page, this section only. I will reload this section only. I will reload this section only. So now you will just go and verify. You will just go and verify. Refresh this one. Refresh this one. See, now go to setup. Where is our Visual Force page? The demo VF0. This is my Visual Force page, right? Click on this one, preview. See, whenever we will click on the submit button, what we are telling to the command button? I'm telling to the command button, you have to reload only this page. This is section. What is this section? Where is PBS2? Yes, here is PBS2, line number 17, user bank information. This is section only it will reload. See here, user bank information only, it is loading and it is changing the value, right? Okay. Instead of reloading the entire page, we are trying to reloading particular portion of a page. How we are going to achieve is nothing but by using re-render attribute. What is the problem? I will reload the entire page. Yes, reload the entire page in the sense means in the page how many tags are there? All these tags it will go to the server. Server it will go to. Why it will go to the server? It will check the syntaxes, right? Whether you validated, you opened, or you closed properly or not. To check all these things, so it will go to the server. So whenever we are reloading the entire page, it will go to the server. It will go to the server. In the server level, it will check. So it will take more time. That's why I'm telling to the system, I don't want to reload all these things. No need any actions on this one. No need to perform anything. Whenever I will click on this button, you have to go to this particular section. Where is this section? The system it will ask PBS2. What is this PBS2? Yes, there is one ID with PBS2. It will go and execute this one. It will reload this one. It will reload in the sense means it will send to the server. It will take from the server. So here we are using re-render attribute. Suppose I want to reload 2 sections, then how we are going to use? I will just go and use comma, and the next one is here. This section also I want to reload. PVS. So refresh, try to save this one, try to save this one. Okay, now go to here your Visual Force page. Go to here your Visual Force page. Now go to here, 1 second. Go to here. Go to here. Click on this preview button. Click on this preview button. Click on the submit buttons here. Two section change, right? This one section one change, this section one change. This section we change and this section we changed. Okay, this one changed and this one changed. Any questions on this one? Re-render. In the previous session we discussed rendered. Rendered is a boolean variable to show the section or hide the section. See, rendered is a boolean. This is here. Go to your entity search, enter some information, click on search, then only it is displaying this page block table, right? Here we use rendered table, but here what we are doing, we are using re-render. Re-render is nothing but to load the portion of a page. Instead of reloading the entire page, we are reloading portion of a page. Okay, this is nothing but re-render. Just remember all these things. Okay, remember or practice all these things. Wherever we will go, these are the common things. These are the simple one only. Render, re-render, render, re-render, and the previous one is action function. Now the last one is action status. I will just go and discuss action status. I will copy the code only. I will copy. Here you have to observe this Visual Force page. Nothing is new. Page tag, form tag, page block, command button, page block, output text, title. Other than that, nothing. One controller is there. One controller. So other than that, nothing is there in this Visual Force page. I will share the sample code also. One last one is action status. Action status. Again, I will copy this code. Again I will copy this code. Before going into this one, I will give some information here. Action status, we should learn this one. We know this one, we know regularly we will get these things. Okay, 1 second. So you are trying to fill in one form. This is your form. This is your form. Suppose you are working on one website or some other place you are working, and you are filling all these details. We are filling all these details and click on the submit button. Then what system it will do? It will show some message or it will show some image, right? Your request is processing. It will show some image, right? Or it will show some message, right? Processing, please wait. Okay, processing, please wait. Click on the submit button, then immediately we will get one image like you please wait, your request is processing, or one message also. We are anything, either image or message we will get, right? So either image or message we will get it, right? Why we will get? What is the purpose? What is the purpose? So whenever you will click on the submit button, our request, it will go to the server, right? From the server it will call our Apex class, right? From the Apex class it will perform some business logic, right? Apex class it will perform some business logic, right? Okay, suppose to run this business logic, sometimes it will take some time, like 5 seconds or 6 seconds or 10 seconds also it will take. Suppose 10 seconds it will take, you will not understand, right? Was my request is processed, or is there any problem? Again we will go and we will click on one more submit, right? One more submit, again I will click, again I will click, right? What I am trying to say, this is a general one. Suppose you are trying to fill in one form, when you will click on the form, when you will click on the form, when we will click on the submit button, then what immediately we will get? We will get one message, right? We will get one message, please wait. Please wait, our image also we will get it, right? So why we are getting, why websites or some other sites they are displaying that message? Suppose they will not display that message, then what happened? So we are not guarantee, right? We are not guarantee our request is processing or not. We are not guarantee, right? We are not guarantee. So that's why I will just go here and again I will click one more time. One more time I will click. One more time I will click. So because of backend it is performing, but it is taking some time to give the result. That user doesn't know. User what he will feel, my request is processing or it is not taking my request, right? We are trying to fill in one form, when click on the submit button, so to give the response, the server it will take some time, but the user doesn't know your request is processing or it is not processing. So how we have to tell to the user, boss, wait, you click on the submit button, wait some time, your request is processing. How we are going to tell to the user? That is nothing but by displaying some images or by displaying some messages, right? In the Visual Force page by using action status. Whenever user click on the submit button, So then we are informed to the user, you have to wait some time. Your request is processing. How we are going to achieve in the Visualforce page is nothing but by using action status. Action status. I'm trying to copying this code. So I'm trying to creating one Visualforce page. Go to here. Visual Apex class. We are trying to creating demo action. Okay. This is my Apex class. This is my Apex class, and 1 second, this is my Apex class. Okay, then I'm trying to creating one Visualforce page, new Visualforce page, demo action. This is my Visualforce page, and this is my Visualforce page. Now what I will do, here also there is no new tag, only one tag is there, only one tag. I will explain that tags here. Controller is equals to controller is equals to controller. See here, command button value is equals to submit. First we will execute this one. Click on this preview button. Click on here. What here it is coming? Only one command button is right coming. Submit button. Click on the sum. We know right how to develop command button. Click on the submit button. Then what we are telling to this command button? You have to go and execute action method, right? So whenever we will click on the command button, see here, some image is coming, right? Some image is coming. So go to this command button. Apex colon command button value is equal to submit action is equals to yes, demo method we know, but two attributes we extra added. Status attribute we added, right? Status attribute we added. So what is this status attribute? The system it will check whenever we are using at the command button level, whenever we are using status attribute, the system it will check any value is there with this particular, any tag is there or any tag is there. Yes, one tag is there. Here you have to observe action status tag, apex colon action status id is equals to with this one. Then you want to include image or you want to include text. This is the standard one. Please wait. So whenever we will click on the command button, we are telling to the command button you have to execute this action status tag. How we are telling to the command button means we are using status attribute and some value here we are using. What is this value? Is nothing but action status id is equals to action status, and here this is a facet is there, right? This facet, okay, name is equals to, I mean this is the standard tag, facet tag we will call it as a, here this is a image, that image is coming, right? Otherwise you want some message, you will just go and add it here. Other than that there is no new tag. Here you have to observe command button value action, we know re-render, we are re-rendering only this one only, we are trying to re-rendering only this page block only, we are re-rendering. Means instead of reloading the complete page, I am re-rendering only this block, and I am telling to this command button you have to execute this action status. How we are telling to the command button? We are using status attribute id is equals to this one, and what is this one? Page set name is equals to start, page set name is equals to start, and this is my image, and this is this one. Now go to here, refresh this one, click on the submit buttons here. Please wait, here it is coming, right? And the image also coming, right? How this image is coming means this is the image, this is the standard image. Okay, this is one image. Okay, one image. And suppose you want to display any message, yes, you will just go on message. We have to use in the facet tag. Facet tag, this facet tag is under action status. No need to remember this exact syntaxes. Okay, whenever we will click on the submit button, we have to notify the user, you have to wait some time. So we know action status tag is there. Then whenever user click on the command button, yes, go to your status is equal to action, this one. Then you have to copy and paste which image we want. We have to include this image. Any sorry, any message in the sense means this is the message we have to. No need to remember exact syntax. We have to remember the concept. We have to remember the concept. That is enough. Okay. This is completely Visualforce pages, and